Hey everybody, this is Petey from the Spinner Rack, and today I am doing another video, but this is going to be a little different. Let me. Now, as I showed you, I have the original Aliens graphic novel that was printed as a serial in the Heavy Metal magazine. And I'd also like to point out I have it signed by Walter Simonson himself. And obviously it's a gorgeous book. We know this, right? So today, with all of the different movies that came after Aliens versus Predator, the comic books, the all of those things that came out, one of the things that went off of the beaten path was a previews comic book, which was a serialized story by John Byrne, which was called Aliens Earth Angel, right? So we had Aliens Earth Angel, and obviously this is on top of the Aliens Artist Edition. I just wanted to point that out. But we have it was serialized. Now I did a kid thing. I took my I took my Aliens Earth Angel because I liked the newsprint version better than the one shot, because I really like the texture of it. Outside of John Byrne doing this title here for it, which I like the original title, everything else I like in the newsprint. I like the color in the newsprint outside of one piece. I'm going to use an example how I doctored up one thing just to show you how I think it should have looked. But this is ultimately one of my favorite stories. And this is one of the books or series or serials that got me to understand all the stuff I wasn't seeing. And what I was looking for in John Byrne's work was superhero stuff, the clean sort of thing. And at this point, I kind of got into the grit, the dirt, all the textures, the different textures that were going on in his books. Instead of saying, oh my God, the kid, that sort of thing. The bikers, the road, all this stuff that's going on, and then the monster. And it's like, this is sort of the perfect series. Now, most of the series outside, I think Alien Batman versus Aliens, where they had the aliens come to Earth and had to deal with that. This is one of the first stories where, and I think 21st Century Fox had issue with the aliens coming to Earth. But I mean, come on. It's Aliens Earth Angel. Once you take the pitch, it's that's what it is. But we had this thing in previews that I totally tore out all the pages, and I have it here. Now I only have the first 10 of them. I recently bought these back because I lost all of my copies of these at some point. So I bought it back from mycomicshops.com, which is a great place to buy books. I got those and I tore them apart, and I have this thing, and I keep it with my raw edition of Aliens Earth Angel, which I'll show at a later point in this video. Right? So in Aliens, in the news, they say, Burn baby burn, Dark Horse Aliens Earth Angel serialized in previews. It said last month, blah, 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 blah. And they say this is the point of this thing, which I want to bring up, is that said, what's the name? Our first preview comic serials comes courtesy from the fine folks at Dark Horse, who asked creator John Byrne to have a new take on the popular Alien series, given total freedom because, hey, even the 20th Century Fox people know who John Byrne is. John Byrne has created Aliens Earth Angel, right? And this is about the aliens coming to Earth in the 50s, right? So we have this alien, we have this funky looking alien and whatnot. We have all those 50s sort of bikers, a regular family, and then we have the face hugger. And I think there was an ad somewhere, but I don't have it here. But let's move on. This was the first serial. And then in the second part, we had the ships going down here, and they find something. This is similar to, if if you look in the Aliens movies, having the characters have these, which would be a mask on, but then what they see is they don't even know what it is. But we, the audience, knows that this guy wasn't planning on surviving. That was his whole thing. He was not planning on surviving. So we introduced, and this is one of the things that John Byrne, what he is doing in this period is very much character dramas. He's moving away from sort of the Star-Lord, leading man and leading lady. We get sort of ordinary folks interacting in the city, right? In this town, right? You know, obviously, and if you look at it as it goes along, we have an older woman, Mrs. Miller, we have this doctor, we have these kids. It's like all ordinary folk here, not the usually handsome and beautiful characters, just ordinary folks. So this is more into sort of doing a character drama, and we get to see the alien face. But this is also a serial, so it's not going to work where we sit around and we spend like, I don't know, what was it, like 20 minutes or 15 minutes for the the alien as this is when it's first born to sort of be developed. We have this character that's been knocked out. We don't know how long he's had that on him, but at the same time, once they get it off him, he wakes up, and this is for maximum effect, getting right to the point, because he only has 13 chapters, right? And I'm going to run out in 10, so we're going to have to go to our other language version in black and white, right? So we keep going. Now before I go on this one, I really like Matt Webb's color, so I don't know that he colored it like this, where the red was actually blood, and this using black lines, but I don't know that John Byrne would like it that way, and I don't know that Matt Webb did it this way. But at the same time, it's done. You don't have to separators come and did this, but I'm going to show you an example of how it was. It could have looked if using the black lines around the blood that's shooting all around, right? So we got that. That's chapter 2. And that's the other thing. Oh, can't go. So this, I think, similar to Aliens 3, where they had the alien sort of crouched over like a dog. John Byrne has also said this alien is sort of taking on some of the features of the alien's face, right? Because he came and gestated inside this sort of alien, right? Oh, and oh man, I keep forgetting. There's also an homage to, before I get out of there, also homage to this book, sort of a callback to when Walter Simonson did the big reveal of the alien. Let's see, where is this? Before I go too far. So you have that here, and I'm going to show you this here. So you have this, and it's sort of not exactly, because it's in the reverse angle, but that's sort of having that, seeing that jawline of the thing, right? Let's keep going. Now, if you look at this one, this is going right to some 50s dive bar with these greasers or bikers and the characters in here. And this is very much a character drama. And this is one of the things where, you know, I guess you could say the work in the X-Men, Fantastic Four, and especially the Hulk, sort of the style that I really liked. And also, I think when he was inking himself on Superman, those sort of things, I guess the big Barter things. But this one, he kind of threw out a lot of that slickness and giving you very much this nice, gritty stuff. Nice use of blacks here to set up the sort of location, how, you know, the bikers and whatnot. And then you have them just a mess out here. And then, of course, bang. So I was actually imagine me going to the comic store. And I used to buy previews, but I missed a lot of these. There was a lot that I missed. So, and this one would be similar to a Sin City page. You have all this nice high contrast stuff going on here, and I always like to point out that though Frank Miller had screamed and really complained about people using his style, meaning using his his lighting exactly the same thing, creating their own Mars and using all of his technique instead of taking your style and doing high contrast stuff, right? Because there's different things that Byrne's doing when he does high contrast stuff, doing these sort of silhouettes here, that sort of thing, which is not the same as what Miller was complaining about. So we got another one. I think when I was in school, I was trying to show, I did a piece for my final thing, and I guess I can show that for 2 seconds at some point too, that I used it for the piece, and because I really like these pages, and I thought they really and then we got the doc, and what's the doc doing? He's getting out of here. He's like, we got to get out of here. And to get his pregnant wife, that's the other thing. It's not leading lady and leading man. They got the doctor, pregnant wife, the kids, and it's like saying, we got to get out of town. And nope, they're not getting out of town. The queen is coming after them. Yeah, and I think this one with the little kid, I definitely used for the piece. Gets hit by this car, which is almost a tank back in the days, real metal, breaks through, shatters the glass. And then, of course, it's only struggling with that. There's a fire on the outside going on. This kid is definitely in trouble. I don't know. For me, the newsprint works better. And I think there's a lot of cool stuff that was in previews that I saved that was in that newsprint feel. And I kind of wish they did a treasury edition of this, right? But I'll get to that towards the end, right? Of course, it's Byrne's. We've seen the alien, the xenomorph get destroyed by the blasters. And this one, the old gas guzzling car engines are enough to take out the alien, right? Tank's gonna blow, and look at that. Oh my goodness. And this is some of the best explosions in Byrne's period, with doing still more high contrast stuff. But at the same time, this is what they drove. It wasn't as if it was following them. This was its actual nest, and it was gathering people for food here. And he knows what's going on here. Has enough information to say they're in even bigger trouble. So this is definitely taking the 50s B movie, but at the same time doing a 50s B movie, having more, being able to do something different with the aliens. And that's what the original Alien was like. The original Alien was taking a slasher film and doing it as a sci-fi, doing, what's the thing, the Space 1990, what's the name, 2001 The Space Odyssey, doing that as a slasher film. And this is doing a B movie as a big, big sort of horror movie, and throwing the aliens in there. So and actually that's not necessarily, something you say, oh, that's high concept. But for Alien, when Alien's always them fighting, them fighting the military, have them fight these ordinary people. And that's where you get to do something different for Aliens. And of course, the bikers are coming, and then they circle around this. But you think when I saw this page, if in the one shot, ends on the other side, so it looks like they're in trouble, but they're actually just showing up when you look at this chapter 8, right? So and then we get the classic Alien, right? The classic Alien comes out, it breaks out, it immediately kills one of these dudes. And then at the same time, they realize that the flames can kill it, or at least the gas engine flames can take it out, right? And saying this sort of acid is also flammable, right? And of course, there's got to be drama because he can't just kill all of his friends. And they're like, nope, can't do it. And then, of course, he sees how dangerous it is. And this is where I end. This is where I'm ending here, you guys. Oh, I got it mixed up. He's able to save this guy, but at the same time, he's going up and burning all of the face huggers. Now this is where we stop, right? We stop in here because I wasn't able to buy any more of the other ones. I believe I had the rest of them. I think I had the last ones. I mean, I'm just remembering. So we have to go to this guy, right? And this is I believe it's a French edition of the Raw. I think it's called Raw. Let's go to this. Hopefully this works out. Yep, Aliens, Earth Angel, Raw. Now this, I don't know if it's from the film or they use the color or whatnot, but you still get to see the nice effect of all the textures and whatnot. So I'm just gonna quickly scan through this thing for you guys. You get to see the black and white stuff. And so even though you won't have to worry about missing your place, but see, here we go. I didn't even have to use it. Just keeping the black in, you get to see so much effect here instead of doing a solid red for that blood. And then all the cool stuff. And now you see how this has been printed differently than the serial, where the cliffhanger in the original one was here. Now the cliffhanger for the next page is there. And then so it gives you a different effect when you're worried about the girl, and then in this one, she gets saved. See, this is what I was saying. So they escape here out of the frying pan into the fire, right? That sort of effect. So some of it works. It's not all, but some of these big tense moments that Byrne had. So here we go, right? So this is where we were. We're going to see one page we already saw before, and then we're going to see something else, right? So we get to see the burning of that. All the people had to die, and all the face huggers going, and the aliens going, and then them crushing the face hugger. And then the police and the army show up. And they just see dead bodies, and they see these weird things in there. And see, still on the character. We're not necessarily getting a heroic sort of face here. But when we get to the end, and even in this French version, you can see they need help. They're calling for help, and the doctor says his name is Ripley, Daniel Ripley. And that's how it ended, right? That's the Raw edition. Keep that there for now. So, with that said, there was supposed to be a special edition, right? There was supposed to be a special edition. I was waiting for the special edition. What else happened? So, I waited for the special edition, and then next thing you know, there was a diamond edition that cost more, but there was a one-shot. So I always wondered if the diamond edition had more material. And John Byrne said on his website that he hoped when he did the special edition, when he did the one-shot, he would add more chapters to it. But at the same time, Dark Horse just said they just did the one-shot, printed it, and that was it. Whereas he would to get away from the choppiness. And it would have been interesting to see how he would have expanded on this story. But art-wise, it's one of my favorites of the period. That's the whole Dark Horse Period is one of my favorites of his work, and you can see it definitely in here. And the Next Men, what else? Danger Unlimited, and Babe, and I think he did a Herbie. So I think that covers most of the stuff he did. But that's it for this video. This is Aliens Earth Angel. Let's start where we left off, because we got this nice black and white one. It took me a while to get the stones to say, you know what, I'm just going to buy this over again. And I did, and it took me a while to say, I'm going to rip all of the cereals out of this. And I did, and I happily check this out all the time, right? Because I guess that's it. Spin the rack out from, what's the name? 52nd Street Comics.